This is He Knows Everything, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, let's talk about it. You know, I got to pop out the coffee, man. It's nice and hot.
Go ahead, He Knows.
So I'm going to be drinking coffee throughout this video because this is one of those where you just, if you got coffee, you got breakfast, you got food, man, you better sit your ass down and listen and pay attention. Roy Jones Jr., you see the background. He said, this is what Errol the Truth Spence is going to do to nullify Terence Crawford. I told you guys, as this fight draws closer and closer, Roy Jones Jr. was going to switch. See, these fence straddling boxers, you can't trust them. Fence straddling pundits, you can't trust them. Fence straddling 50-50. I done told you guys about 50-50. People that are 50-50 give you 50% of themselves. Let me say it again. People that are 50-50 give you 50% of themselves. There's only 100 and 0. Either it's 100 or it's 0. Let me say it again. Either it's 100 or it's 0. The reason why Roy Jones Jr. is talking the way that he's talking is because you have to understand he's already been bulldozed. He's already been steamrolled by that style. Antonio Tarver, Glenn Johnson. These guys have already proven that when you come in with a technically sound, a fundamentally sound fight, you are going to dismantle the shoe shining. Let me say it again. When you come in with a technically sound and a fundamentally sound fight, you are going to dismantle the shoe shining. See, showboaters, they always want to show off. Showboaters always want to give you this glare and flare. But you have to understand, glare and flare is what the fuck it is. Glare and flare. It's not technique. It's not fundamentals. It's not what you need to break you down systematically, fundamentally, and technically. Let me say it again. It's not what you need to break you down systematically, fundamentally, and technically. Errol the Truth Spence is going to break down Terence Crawford systematically. He's going to break him down fundamentally, and he's going to break him down technically. And it's called a conglomeration of punishment, tactical aggression, technical punching placement, body snatching work. It's a levying onslaught of a punishment style. When you start a fight at 30% and a guy's already starting the fight at 75 to 80%, I want you guys to do math here. The person's already 45 to 50% ahead of you from round one. So start adding it up. 45 to 50% round one, 90 to 180 round three. You see where we're going with this? 135 to 160 by round three. And if you keep adding it up, look at the separation of percentages. Look at the distance. This is why you start feeling the leagues and leagues of water. This is why you start feeling that you're drowning, because the percentage, the separation in the number, the separation in the golf, the separation in the distinction, the separation in the delineation happens to you. It's called tactical aggression. It's called technical punching placement. It's called body snatching work, the levying onslaught of the punishment style. I done told you guys this, and I said this back in the June 10, 2018 timestamp video. Errol the Truth Spence and Terence Crawford is not going to come down to skills. You got guys copying that as well too, saying it's will. I told you guys it was indomitable will. It's about who wants it more, who can levy more punishment. Terence Crawford cannot handle the punishment that Errol the Truth Spence is going to levy him with. Errol the Truth Spence can handle the punishment that Terence Crawford can levy him with. And that's what Roy Jones Jr. is alluding to, because Roy Jones Jr. is understanding. He tried this with Antonio Tarver. And what happened? He got stopped the presses and pumped the brakes on that nonsense. And he fell flat on his ass, and he sat down and go somewhere and what? Higgity fucking hush. He tried that nonsense on Glenn Johnson, and what happened? He got stopped the presses and pumped the brakes on that nonsense. And he got his ass put on the grass, and he had to go sit down somewhere and what? A double knockout higgity fucking hush. This is what's going to happen with Spence versus Crawford. It's going to be Errol the Truth Spence beating him with technical ability, fundamental ability, body snatching work ability, sound ability. Because when it's all said and done, boxing at its highest levels is that technique, fundamentals, body work. So when guys are sitting here saying, well, if Errol the Truth Spence don't get to the body, he's gonna get to the body because he's too big. When Spence looks at Crawford, he looks at Crawford like Crawford is not big enough. Then you got dumb as fuck YouTubers trying to compare Errol the True Spence with Master Ultra Instinct Goku. If you're going to compare Errol the True Spence, compare Errol the True Spence with who he says he is. He is Jiren. Jiren. If you know your anime, you will understand that Jiren is just out the gate unlimited pressure. You could tell he's unlimited pressure because he forced Goku to go into Master Ultra Instinct. And even then, Jiren didn't even give you his full power. Even Goku alluded to that. Jiren is unlimited pressure out the gate. And then he's unlimited pressure more and more. And even then, when Goku got to Master Ultra Instinct, remember, Jiren was able to get with Goku, and then Goku got timed out. That's who Goku would be. Not Master Ultra Instinct Goku. That's not who Errol the True Spence would be. He would be Jiren. See, motherfuckers ain't even getting that right. See, I have to break that down so you can get that right, so you can understand that. This is what Roy Jones Jr. was talking about months ago when he said Errol the True Spence is a pressure cooker fighter. He's basically telling you unlimited pressure, because pressure does what? It bursts his pipes. He understands that Terence Crawford is going to be dealing with pressure the whole fight. Terence Crawford is defensively irresponsible. Terence Crawford has gotten folded by smaller guys. Mean Machine dropped him. He had to go tooth and nail with Jose Benavidez. Sean Porter was beating him up until Sean Porter looked at Bob Arum and was like, it's time for you to accept your pay to lose. Kell Brook was out jabbing him, and Kell Brook has nowhere near the level of jab that Errol the True Spence has. And then Kell Brook looked at Bob Arum. Mind you, he didn't have Dominic Ingle, his trainer, and Eddie Hearn didn't want to have no parts to deal with that, because Eddie Hearn is the remix version of a car salesman, and he knows Bob Arum is the original car salesman. So they knew it was a pay to lose. So he looked at Bob Arum and was like, okay, go look at those shots that Terence Crawford hit Sean Porter and Kell Brook with. You'll see that it was a pay to lose nosedive affair. It wasn't tactical aggression punishment. It wasn't technical punching placement punishment. It wasn't body snatching work, the levying onslaught of the punishment style punishment. It wasn't punishment that stopped these guys. It was paid to lose nosedive affairs. This is why Errol the True Spence said what he said about you fought my leftovers. And then go look at Jeff Horn. It took him tooth and nail just to get through that fight. If you guys are really putting 2 and 2 together, you guys can really see that when it's all said and done, there's a reason why Roy Jones Jr. Transformers, he switched that shit up. Let me say it again. Transformers, he switched that shit up. He switched it up. Because at the end of the day, he transformed in the fact of understanding, damn, I got tactically aggressed by Antonio Tarver. I got technically punching placement by Glenn Robinson, aka Glenn Johnson, and I got body snatching work, the levying onslaught of the punishment style by Antonio Tarver and Glenn Johnson. So you know what? If that shit happened to me, Terence Crawford reminds me of me, then he's getting bull fucking dozed. He's getting steam fucking rolled, and he's getting plowed and plowed through and through. Line upon line, precept upon precept, the Megalodon shark is going to draw his ass down in the deep waters, finish his rabbit ass up, and beat the barking out of his Chihuahua self. That's the cold-hearted, that's the unadulterated, that's the cutthroat truth teller fashion. In this instance, Roy Jones Jr. kept the foot on the what? On the Knicks. Roy Jones Jr. kept the foot on the what? On the Knicks. This is He Knows Everything. Check it out.